From fears that the creative legacy of Rocky is becoming thinner and thinner, to concerns that the core message of hard work and determination is being erased, here's why Sylvester Stallone hates Creed 3.
Oh, come on. Hey, Paulo, look. You were a great fighter, no doubt about that. But look, we gotta face the facts, too.
Stallone hasn't always disliked the newest addition to the Rocky franchise. After all, he did play a pivotal role as Rocky Balboa in 2 previous installments, but we sure didn't know he hated the 3rd installment as much as he does. Did you know that Stallone refused to be cast in Creed several times before giving in? Yep, true story. The director of the first 2 Creed films, Ryan Coogler, tried to recruit Stallone for the Creed project and was shot down over and over again. That was until Stallone saw what Ryan was capable of. Coogler directed the critically acclaimed Fruitvale Station, which went on to receive sky-high ratings from both critics and fans alike. It even won Best Film at the 2013 Sundance Film Festival, and dozens of other awards throughout 2013.
Hey, feel good? Yeah. Remember to keep your right hand up, okay? His left is just as strong as his right.
Michael B. Jordan played the lead role in the film, playing Oscar Grant III, who was shot dead in the Bay Area by transit police. Impressed by both Ryan and Michael's work, Stallone started to open up to the idea. To help Stallone make up his mind, his agent told him, "For a guy who played Rocky, you're kind of a chicken." Sylvester was on the fence about Creed, because he always wanted to play his favorite underdog boxer again. So, not wanting to chicken out, he agreed to be cast as Rocky, saying that someone once took a chance with him. Once Stallone was finally on set for Creed, he absolutely loved working with Michael B. Jordan. He said the young actor was built to play a boxer, was an extraordinary athlete, and had amazing kinetic mobility. Considering how well Stallone meshed with the cast and crew of Creed 1, there must have been a drastic change going into Creed 3, because Stallone went from being stoked to being in Creed to wanting nothing to do with the franchise altogether.
I don't believe it.
Call Marianne.
Marianne, his wife.
The house number still works? That's right.
The Rocky star even promised to never watch it. The reason for Stallone's harsh and abrupt 360 regarding the Creed franchise can be summed up in 2 words: Irwin Winkler. Stallone said as long as Winkler is involved in the franchise in any way, he wants nothing to do with it. As it turns out, Sylvester has good reason to hate Irwin. Back in '76, Stallone sold the rights to the Rocky franchise to Winkler because he was flat out broke with $100 to his name, despite being one of the biggest, most iconic movie franchises in history. Sylvester makes nothing in royalties from the Rocky name, despite that.
But if it had to go to somebody, it went to somebody who really worked hard and is a great actor and, you know, a new generation.
Stallone says it's not about the money. He fears that his creative legacy of Rocky is becoming thinner and thinner, and the message of hard work, grit, and determination are being washed away. Stallone even calls Irwin a parasite. Why? Because Stallone accuses Irwin of sucking the Rocky franchise dry. Irwin's family only sees the franchise as the way to further enrich themselves by trying to create spin-off series, like the one based on Ivan Drago, the main antagonist of Rocky IV. Luckily for Stallone, the Ivan Drago series was never made, and the screenplay is now irrelevant because Creed 2 has a similar theme. It's also clear that Sylvester resents the fact that he's not a part of Creed's creative vision for the future. He says, "I'm not an executive producer on the Creed movies. Ryan Coogler is. Michael B. Jordan is. Irwin Winkler and Robert Chardoff's children are. Not mine. I'm the only one left out." At the same time, while Stallone's completely against Creed 3, he's open to working with the film's director, Michael B. Jordan, who plays Adonis Donnie Creed in the first 2 movies. But that's only if the franchise is separated from Winkler.
You serious? I am serious. This is old school. You should be able to grab one of these birds.
30 seconds?
Yeah, in your dreams.
Sylvester says he wants his heroes to get beat up and to triumph through trials and tribulations. He doesn't want them going into dark places, though, because there's more than enough darkness out there already. And when it comes to changing things in Creed to suit his vision, this wouldn't be the first time Stallone has had some issues.
Call it a learning curve.
Ain't no learning.
Hey. You know what? You can't learn anything talking. That's a fact of life. You know what I mean? As long as you're talking, you're not listening.
Did you know that when Stallone agreed to do the first 2 films, he changed the script? Yep, true story. According to Stallone, that was part of the agreement to do the first 2 films. Stallone says he reviewed every word, every period, every comma to make sure they captured who Rocky really was. And he wrote every scene Rocky was present in personally.
Yo, Donnie, why didn't you tell me about this before?
I mean, I didn't know if I was gonna win.
Well, what's that got to do with it?
I don't know.
With Creed 3, the production shifted away from giving Stallone any creative freedom in the writing department. In the end, though, that turned out to be a blessing in disguise for Stallone, because the legendary action star has plenty of projects lined up, and he's had a hand in writing many of those projects as well. Sylvester might be getting older, but he still has plenty of gas in the tank. He's teased new projects, and some of them are definitely fan favorites. Demolition Man 2 and The Expendables 4. The Expendables has a set release date in September of this year.
Is it cold in here, or is it just me?
Good memory.
Somehow, Stallone's still able to act out those crazy action sequences, even in his mid-70s. Very impressive. But the sequel to '93's Demolition Man looks a bit murky. Stallone himself hinted that they were working on the sequel to the 30-year-old movie on Instagram in 2020. But it's been nothing but silence ever since. While waiting for the movies, Stallone's been working on his own mobster drama series along with Yellowstone showrunner Taylor Sheridan.
After everything I've been through, after everything I've lost, after everything I've done for this family, your family, there's nothing left for me!
Tulsa King streams on Paramount Plus, and it's a huge departure for Stallone. His first foray into TV, we get to see him as Dwight the General Manfredi, a gangster who's been locked up for 25 years. When he's released, he expects fanfare, accolades, and acclaim from his fellow mobsters for his loyalty while on the inside, but all they offer him in return is a forced retirement. Stallone being Stallone never backs down in these kinds of roles, so we can expect a roller coaster of drama and a climactic rise of his character, much like we see in Rocky.
I'm so sorry, everything. I should have been there. I'm so sorry.
But let's get back to Stallone's hatred for Creed 3 for a second. Stallone always wants to be an integral piece of any project he's in, and Creed is one that's very close to his heart, so Sylvester just wants to be a part of the big picture. As the original creator of the famed character Apollo Creed, this makes perfect sense. Stallone says Creed's producers cherry-picks bits and pieces of the Rocky franchise, and they never asked him to join in or give any input at all. Sly goes on to say that it's a regretful situation all around, and that the franchise was taken in a very different direction than he would have taken it. The difference between the two visions appears to start and end with Rocky as the focal point. But Michael B. Jordan says the main role of the story from here on out would be Adonis Creed. That isn't to say Rocky is gone from the Creed franchise for good, though. According to Jordan, while not on screen, there's always going to be a little bit of Rocky within Adonis. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. That's why Sylvester Stallone hates Creed 3.